Hey boys and girls, we're going to talk more about winter. Last time we talked about how the weather changes. It gets colder, it might snow, the wind might blow harder. And we also learned that the days were shorter and the nights longer. We also talked about how we had to dress in warmer clothes. Well, animals have to do things to adapt to the winter just like we do. They have to find ways to stay warm and find food. And that's what we're going to learn today. We're going to learn about animals in the winter, and then we're going to learn about plants in the winter. We're going to read this article through and talk about it, and then we're going to go back and look for words that maybe we don't know exactly what they mean and see if we can figure it out by looking at the words around it. Animals in winter. What happens? Winter days are short and nights are long. Animals sleep longer during winter days. Squirrels rest with their tails curled tightly around them. Groups of ladybugs huddle under bushes to sleep. Sounds like they like to sleep a lot in the wintertime. Do you? Finding food. Animals search hard for food in winter. Deer look for plants under the snow. Rabbits nibble twigs sticking out of the snow. Birds look for berries left on tree branches. Some lucky birds find seeds in bird feeders. I bet it is hard for them to find food in the wintertime, especially when there's a lot of snow on the ground. Migration. Many animals migrate before the cold weather begins. Canada geese and ducks spend their winter in southern states with unfrozen lakes. Monarch butterflies spend winter days in warm Mexico. It sounds like these animals don't like to be cold. Hibernation. Hibernating animals are in a deep sleep. Their heartbeats and breathing are very slow. Their body temperature is low and they use little energy. Hibernating animals live off fat stored in their bodies. So some animals really do like to sleep in the wintertime. I bet that's what that's saying to me. Blending in. Snow lets some animals hide. Weasels are white in winter. They blend in with the snow so they can sneak up on prey. Snowshoe rabbits have white winter fur too. It helps them hide from predators. Now that we've read this article and learned a lot about animals in the wintertime, we're going to go back and see if there's some words that we weren't sure what they meant. I think on this page we pretty much knew what every word meant. We know that the squirrels rest with their tails curled tightly around them. That probably keeps them very warm. On this page, we learned about finding food, how animals find their food. We learned that they had to search hard for food in the winter. Deer look for plants under the snow. It says right here that rabbits nibble twigs. Thinking about that word, nibble twigs sticking out of the snow. If I'm going to take a nibble, I believe I've heard that word before in a story I've read. Nibble. I think that means just to take little bites. And they must have to take little bites because there's just little twigs. And I know twigs are, that has to do with a tree. Maybe a branch. Oh, I bet a twig is a little tiny part of a branch. And it might be sticking up in the snow, probably where it's fallen off the tree. So rabbits are going to take tiny little bites of a twig. Birds look for berries left on tree branches, and some lucky birds find seeds in bird feeders. Now this next part is a word that I'm not quite sure what it means. Migration. This is a long word. Many animals migrate. So they're going to do something, and it says that they're going to do it before the cold weather begins. So they're going to migrate is something that means you're going to do it before a change. Let's keep reading. Canada geese and ducks spend their winter in southern states with unfrozen lakes. Monarch butterflies spend winter days in warm Mexico. Well, it tells me that these animals don't like cold weather. And if they live where it's going to get cold and they migrate, that might mean that they're going to travel or they're going to go somewhere where it's warmer. Let's see if that makes sense. Many animals travel before the cold weather begins. Or maybe many animals move before the cold weather begins. Canada geese and ducks spend their winter in southern states with unfrozen lakes. So if the animals are moving or traveling to a warmer place, that would make sense. I bet migration means to move or travel before the season changes. When I saw the word hibernation, I thought, what a long word. What does that mean? But the first sentence really helped us. It said hibernating animals are in a deep sleep. So I'm thinking hibernating means to sleep very soundly. In fact, it says that hibernating animals live off fat stored in their bodies. So that tells me they don't even get up to eat, that their bodies are just using what they've already eaten. Blending in. Now, there were a couple of words in here that I wondered about, like prey and predators. So let's go back and see what it says. It says that snow lets some animals hide. Weasels are white in winter. They blend in with the snow so they can sneak up on prey. Snowshoe rabbits have white winter fur too. It helps them hide from predators. I'm thinking these two words, prey and predators, may be sort of alike. So I'm going to think about this. So the weasel blends in with the snow so they can sneak up. And if I sneak up on somebody, I don't want them to know I'm coming. So, they're trying to find animals to eat because they have to find a way to survive in the winter. It says snow lets some animals hide. And if I'm going to hide and I see something I might want to eat, I'm going to need to sneak up on it. So I'm thinking prey might mean that it's something that I'm going to want to eat. Let's see if that makes sense. That they blend in with the snow so they can sneak up on an animal that they may use for food. That kind of makes sense. And then let's look at predators. It says the snowshoe rabbits have a white winter fur too. It helps them hide from predators. Now, if they're going to sneak up on prey, they're going to be the ones to eat an animal they see. But if they need to hide, it makes me think that the predators are the animals that may be hunting them. Let's see if that makes sense. It helps them hide from animals that may want to eat them. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So when you're reading articles and you're not sure about what words mean, you might want to look at the words around it and think about what is happening in the story. Now that we've read this twice, we've learned a lot about animals, haven't we? We've learned that animals in the wintertime have to store a lot of food in their bodies because they might hibernate or sleep during the winter. We learned that their fur changes colors to help them find food and also to help them stay safe from animals that might eat them. We learned that some animals migrate. That means that they go somewhere warm to stay in the wintertime. And we also learned that it was hard for them to find food, and they have to dig under the snow, and they have to really search hard for food that may be hidden in the snow. So would you agree with me that in a way we are like animals in the wintertime? We have to find ways to stay warm, and sometimes we like to travel to places that are warmer than where the cold weather we have in the wintertime. I hope you learned a lot about what animals do in the winter.